thank you again for doing this interview. It's so great to talk to you again. The last time we talked, I think you had just released Sundress, but how have things been since that point?
It's been great. Yeah, it's been a little while. Thanks for having me back. Yeah, it has been a great year. That's crazy that we haven't talked since Sundress. A lot has happened. A lot of new music. A lot of writing. A lot of continuing to be creative and just working on the next round of music as I tend to do.
Yeah, I mean, by the time this interview comes out, your new song, Warm Fuzzy, will be out. How are you feeling about that release?
I'm excited. So Warm Fuzzy was one of the songs I did the song last year virtually with some friends, and it almost made it onto my last EP, Sunday Dreams, which had Sundress and everything on it. And it was one that we kind of decided that like it felt more like a fall song. Warm Fuzzy just feels right for kind of like the holiday season, even though it's not really like a Christmas song. It just kind of feels like the right timing. So Sunday Dreams was like the summer EP, and now we're kind of like coming into like that warmer season where like everybody should just like curl up by the fire and throw on the song and just hang out and like enjoy time with family and friends and all that good stuff. So it feels like the right timing. I'm super excited. I've been sitting on it forever, so it's gonna be good to have it out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, other than trying to keep up with the seasons, how did this song come about?
We so like I said, we did it virtually. I have a co-producer on it named Kevin Hutchins, who's like a crazy piano player. So that was the first session we ever did. It was me, him, and a writer I write with at the time, Rebecca Pearl, who did like Happy Ed and No Parachute and a lot of songs that I've had out for a while. So she's awesome, and we started working virtually. And Kevin is a crazy piano player. Our first session ever, he just kind of had this like bouncy piano idea. It kind of felt like Benny and the Jets, like some cool like retro vibes, and then we kind of brought it into like this modern world. And Rebecca had the idea like, let's write a song called Warm Fuzzy. Like, what would that even be like what would it be about, and it's just like the way it's put, the way it's said, the way it feels, it just feels warm. It makes you feel warm. So it just we loved it from the beginning, and we just kind of were waiting for the right time to get it out.
Mm-hmm. The song is amazing. I listened to it. It has a great vibe, and I'm so excited for fans to hear it. But what are you most excited for fans to hear in it?
I think it brings my like it's just another like step in the evolution of my project. I think it shows a different side of what I can do. It's a little bit darker. It's like a little bit more R&B, I would say. But I think this song in particular really shows off my vocals, which, some songs do a better job of that than others. So I'm excited for fans to hear that. I spent a lot of time just like getting this one right. And I think it's also kind of like that darker R&B vibe that I really haven't explored too much now, or too much yet. So I'm looking forward to kind of like leaning the next round of songs a little more in this direction and going like in a little bit of a darker, warmer place.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know
Yeah.
you said you've been sitting on this song, but how'd you decide that this was gonna be the next release opposed to one of the newer songs you've written?
For me right now, it's looking at everything I have in the Dropbox folder and saying, okay, what's the right timing? Like sometimes songs take so long to feel like they're the right time. And we kind of like sat back and looked at everything after the last EP dropped. We're like, how much music do I want to drop in the fall? Like, do we want to go crazy and try to get like 5 new songs out, or should we save some for next year? And that's what we ended up doing. So this is kind of the first step towards the next round of music that's going to be a little bit darker, a little bit like vibier, if you could believe it. and it just felt like the right timing for this one, and I think it's going to set up the next round of songs really well. I've got some really cool stuff I'm sitting on, so when you hear it all together next year, it's going to be like, oh right, that works perfectly.
So would you say that this song is going to mark your new era or next era of your music?
I would say we're heading into a new era, though this is just a little bit of a taste of it. You know, we're gonna really start the era, I would say, in the first quarter of next year. But this is just to give everybody a little taste before the end of the year.
Yeah, you've worked with a lot of producers and fellow musicians. Do you have any dream collaborations that you want to see in your future?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I always say John Mayer every time someone asks me that. That's like my number one
Manifesting it.
artist of all time. Yeah, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Like it's only a matter of time. He's gonna see an interview one of these days. Um, but I would really like to I would really like to explore like more of the like deeper into the R&B and hip hop worlds too. Like that's not something I've really worked too much in as a producer or as an artist. So I would love to do features with artists more in that lane. I love Khalid. I love Joji. Like I love lo-fi music, which is like so new to my world. I used to kind of think that sound was like very polarizing, and then one day just like I listened to a Joji song and I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard. So that would be sick too. Let's manifest that too.
Let's
Just throw that
manifest
out
all
there.
of them.
Yeah, let's go. I love it.
Just make a big list and we'll just have a Zoom call about your manifests.
Just yeah, bring them all in and we'll write a song, and maybe I'll do a song with all of them. John Mayer and Joji on one song. That sounds like the
That'd be a number
craziest
one
thing I've
hit.
ever
You
heard.
got it.
It could be. Yeah. We just thought of it right now. That's wild.
It's just, we just started the whole career launch.
Yes.
Talking about your new music that you've written and haven't yet released, if you could describe it in 3 words, what would you say?
I would describe the new music as organic, musical, and emotional. Something that I've like really tried to dig into on the next round of songs is like I feel like a lot of people get stuck in like singing over a loop, right? Like 4 chords, just like over and over again. And I'm guilty of that too. But now I'm trying to like, even if it starts with the loop, I'm trying to think about like what chords can I go to that evoke like more emotion when I'm saying something really important in the song. If I can go to something like a different chord that's gonna just make it feel so much more impactful, like that's what I'm really trying to narrow in on now. So the new music, I think, is just kind of settling into a much more emotional and like clear emotional place, if you like, if you will. I think it's gonna be really cool though. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for doing this interview again. It was so great to talk to you.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. Great to catch up.